How often do you feel like your emotions control you, instead of the other way around? What would your life look like if you could stay calm no matter what life throws at you? And what if the secret to emotional freedom was already discovered thousands of years ago by ancient Stoic philosophers? Welcome to Stoic Blend, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we'll explore how to master your emotions with timeless Stoic lessons so you can face stress, conflict, and uncertainty with clarity and strength. Part 1. The modern struggle with emotions. Every day, millions of people wake up already stressed. Emails flood in before breakfast, children demand attention, bills pile up, and unexpected arguments with family or coworkers can ruin the mood for hours. In the United States, surveys show that nearly 80% of workers report feeling stressed daily. Stress isn't just about pressure. It's about how emotions spin out of control when life feels unpredictable. The Stoics understood this problem well. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. The Emperor of Rome faced wars, betrayals, and personal losses. Yet he reminded himself daily that the only real battlefield was his own mind. When you choose to master your emotions, you take back control from external chaos. Imagine walking into your office, where everyone is tense, deadlines are crashing, and instead of absorbing the panic, you remain steady like a calm center in a storm. That calmness is not weakness, it is power. Part 2. Anger and the Stoic Antidote. Few emotions hijack us as quickly as anger. A driver cuts you off on the highway. A colleague takes credit for your work. A loved one says something careless that stings. Your blood pressure rises, and suddenly, anger dictates your next move. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, called anger a form of temporary madness. He wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." How often do we regret what we said in the heat of the moment? How often do we wish we had paused, taken a breath, and responded with clarity? Here's a practical application. The 3-second Stoic pause. The next time anger rises, count slowly to 3 before you react. This short pause creates space between stimulus and response. Modern psychology calls this emotional regulation. The Stoics had already mastered it 2,000 years ago. To master your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means understanding them, stepping back, and choosing a response instead of being enslaved by reaction. Part 3. Fear, anxiety, and the power of perspective. Another dominant force in modern life is fear. Fear of losing a job, fear of financial instability, fear of rejection. Social media magnifies this by feeding constant comparisons. Anxiety has become the background noise of daily living. Epictetus, a former slave who became a great Stoic teacher, taught that people are disturbed not by events themselves, but by the opinions they hold about those events. In other words, it's not losing a job that destroys us, it's the belief that we are powerless without it. It's not rejection that wounds us, it's the story we tell ourselves about what rejection means. Try this exercise. Write down your worst-case scenario for the thing you fear most. Then ask yourself, could I survive this? Could I rebuild? Could I endure? More often than not, the answer is yes. The Stoics trained themselves to imagine hardship, not to dwell in negativity, but to free themselves from unnecessary fear. When you practice this mental exercise, you start to see that fear loses its grip. You begin to master your emotions by shifting perspective, realizing that most fears are shadows, not solid walls. Part 4. Relationships and Emotional Balance. Now, let's talk about relationships. One of the greatest sources of both joy and suffering. Families argue, friendships end, partners disappoint, and misunderstandings cause pain. In the U.S., nearly half of marriages end in divorce, and one of the most common reasons cited is unresolved emotional conflict. Marcus Aurelius advised himself daily to expect people who are selfish, ungrateful, or deceitful. But he added, "They are like this because they don't know what is good or evil." Instead of taking offense, he chose compassion. Imagine approaching your family dinner, where arguments often flare. Instead of bracing for battle, you see the other person as a fellow human struggling with their own inner storms. You remind yourself, their emotions don't have to control mine. By practicing this, you master your emotions in relationships, creating space for understanding instead of escalation. Practical step. The next time someone provokes you, silently remind yourself, this is their storm, not mine. This mental boundary can save you from unnecessary suffering. Part 5. Building emotional resilience through daily Stoic practice. Stoicism was never meant to be abstract philosophy. It was a daily practice like training in a gym, but for the mind. To truly master your emotions, you need consistent habits that build resilience. Here are 3 you can start today. 1. Morning reflection. Begin your day with a Stoic reminder. Today, I will meet difficulty, but I control my response. This prepares your mind before stress arrives. 2. Evening review. Before bed, reflect. Where did I lose control today? Where did I stay calm? This builds awareness and growth. 3. Voluntary discomfort. Practice small challenges, like taking a cold shower, fasting for a few hours, or walking without your phone. By choosing small discomforts, you train yourself not to panic when bigger discomforts arrive. These habits strengthen the emotional muscles needed for life's unexpected blows. Like a soldier training before battle, you prepare your mind before hardship comes. We live in a world full of triggers, traffic, deadlines, arguments, financial worries, and digital noise. But you are not powerless. The Stoics taught that by mastering your perception, practicing pause, reframing fear, showing compassion, and building resilience through daily habits, you can truly master your emotions with timeless Stoic lessons. If this video gave you insight, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Stoic Blend, where we bring ancient wisdom to modern challenges. And I'd love to hear from you. Which emotion do you find hardest to master in your life right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every reply.